Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about the light machine guns in Call of Duty World War II and how they aren't that bad. The community has seemingly decided that they're garbage, they're trash tier, they're unusable, worst in the game, and I disagree. In no uncertain terms, the SMG class is the most important weapon class in Call of Duty World War II. Hands down, the SMG game is always going to be an important game. However, I don't think that makes other classes unusable or bad, and in the case of light machine guns, I think they can be surprisingly good in some situations. And at worst, they're very fun to use. I do have an announcement here in the beginning of the video. I am now partnered with Discord. I'm making a community hub for all of you guys. You can see on the page right there, I've got one already set up for Call of Duty World War II stats and tips, mostly for when the game comes out. I have some channels for each game, and Discord's kind of already the default communication app for gaming. I'm missing out on a little PUBG with J-Hub while I edit this video, which you can also see on the right. But I've got it to where it integrates with Twitch and YouTube, so the moderators, sponsors, subs, all that's going to carry over. It's going to make open lobbies a lot easier, and it's a nice place to reach out and connect with me or other like-minded people. There's a link down there below in the description you can click to join the server and hop on in. But let's talk about the light machine guns. In the beta, we have the MG15, which has the big circular drums on the side, the Lewis gun, which has the big circular drums on top, and the Bren, which you'll mostly see gameplay of with its giant obnoxious magazine on the right-hand side that blocks everything. And fun fact about light machine guns, they are the best for shredding through enemy recon aircraft. It takes a lot of hits from a submachine gun or assault rifle to take those down, but light machine guns chew through them pretty quickly, and generally speaking, they have more ammunition, so it's less of an opportunity cost for you. If you want to play anti-aircraft, if you want to keep your team off the radar, the light machine guns are a very nice choice. The Bren, which you're mostly seeing gameplay of today, is by far the slowest handling, slowest firing, most obstructive, worst iron sights gun in the game, which pushed a lot of people away from it, but it seems to two-shot at very impressive ranges. Most of the kills you see me getting in this gameplay are two-shot kills, and I have so far never got less than a three-shot kill on a target, unless of course they're behind cover. I would guess it's never less than three. So given this, I think you can use this gun like a DMR that goes full auto with some handling penalties. I know it can definitely be used as an alternative sniper if you put a 4X on it and just go to popping people, though that's a bit of a goofier thing to do. You really have to commit to long-range combat to do that. And speaking of ranged combat, the Bren, as fun as it is, cannot challenge a good submachine gun or assault rifle user up close because of the handling properties. When you get up close with somebody, your sprint out time is slow, your aim down sights time is slow, your hip fire is wide. Unless you get lucky and get like a nice two-hit hip fire or like a really very good snap aim or some pre-fire, an SMG user is probably going to dump an entire magazine into you while you're getting ready to shoot. That being said, with a little bit of lane control and positioning, you could really pre-fire and punish that person when they want to push you with your two-shot kills. If you really don't like the extreme range of the Bren, I would recommend checking out the MG15. It's kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum of LMGs. It's still pretty slow handling, slower than ARs and SMGs, but it feels faster, and it definitely fires a lot faster than the other light machine guns. It's more of a spray and pray LMG, but it's very easy to use. The iron sights are good. I put a dot sight on it just because I like that, and it has relatively low recoil for the rate of fire. It does suffer from some magazine capacity issues, even though it has a 50-round mag. You're going to burn through it really quick just because of how fast it shoots. I would almost always recommend running extended mags on it. I was just doing something a little goofier here today. The MG15 is going to be most people's go-to LMG. It's going to be the easiest one to use, the easiest one to shoot down aircraft with, and you'll feel very comfortable with it. It may not be a god-tier gun, but it is a very good gun, and you can surprise people with it, especially when you mount it. So I'm going to talk about mounting next. You all know about the mechanic. When you get that armored class, you can mount your light machine guns on a bipod just like you could at World of War, and they can be mounted to most flat surfaces in the game or almost any piece of the ground for bonus accuracy. However, when you mount them, you cannot use these to challenge the map-mounted light machine guns. The ones that are mounted on the map by default, or the tank light machine guns, are just more powerful. You really can't challenge those. The other ones deal more damage, and the tank one deals more damage and gives the user a little bit of additional armor. You also can't mount them on slanted surfaces or clutter. I tried to cheese the system and mount them on sides of tanks and little barrels and pieces of clutter and some things with some less well-defined geometry, and it wouldn't let me do that. I didn't seem to be able to find many cheesy spots to really punish people. My guess is that it was coded not necessarily to be a map-specific mount, My guess is that instead of mounting to a specific type of game geometry, they're just specific mount points coded into the map and the object. So what you're really looking for is a flat surface. Any kind of flat surface is going to be your friend. I found the mount animation is kind of slow, however the dismount is very fast. Takes a little bit to get set up, but if you're in a really bad situation, you can break away and take cover and move away quite well. And one of the things it does, it makes the hip fire absurdly tight. So if you want to go prone in a choke point where you expect an SMG user to run through, you can do that, and you get this god tier kind of hip fire accuracy that I haven't seen since older Call of Duty games that didn't know how to balance right, and you can brutalize people. When you aim down sights, it has less recoil. I think that the recoil on the mounted ADS is probably higher than it was at E3. That's a subjective thing, to be honest, I didn't measure it. However, less recoil is less recoil, and if you can find a nice head glitch spot or a nice choke point, it's very good. Generally speaking, I don't recommend mounting them that much. I prefer higher recoil along with higher mobility and the ability to duck and get in and out of cover quickly. But if you know enemies are coming, if you have them on the radar, if they're predictable, if you know they're going to funnel at you, mounting your light machine gun is hilariously effective. The amount of shots that you land scares people. You just hit them pop, 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 pop. You don't miss any because you don't really have that much recoil, and it shocks them. They don't know how to react, they don't know what to do, and you shred people very quickly. But again, I'm much more particular about it because I like my mobility. It is fun to do though, which is what I think that LMGs are all about in this game. They're all about having fun. They're never going to be top tier competitive weapons. They're never really going to outgun the AR, the assault rifles or submachine guns in most of your gunfights, but they can be fun to use, they can be cheesy, they can be effective, and they're definitely viable in public matches. If you just want to have fun in public matches, if you want to do something different, LMGs are totally viable, and I'd recommend checking them out. Guys, that's all for this commentary. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you learned something useful. Drifter out.